What's going on, everyone? Welcome to my channel. Before I start, I want to give a shout out to Josh Metacore. I recommend that you follow and subscribe to him. He's very helpful. So today, as you can see, we're gonna set up a basic home lab running Active Directory using Oracle VirtualBox. What's gonna add users using PowerShell. I thought this was very fun to do. Um, so let's get started. This is gonna be my first video, so it might be a bit off, but bear with me. So first, in order to do this lab, you're gonna need VirtualBox, Windows 10 ISO, Server 2019 ISO. These are the two operating systems we're gonna use for our virtual machines. On our first virtual machine, we're gonna set up two NICs. One's gonna be for the external, it's gonna be the internet, and then one's gonna be for the second one's gonna be the internal NIC, which is gonna connect to the private network. For the internal NIC, we're gonna set up for the internal NIC, we're gonna assign an IP address for it because I believe the default one, it's not really. They just assign it a random default one. So for the client to be able to have access, we need to assign one that's going to be part of our domain controller. And the external doesn't need us to assign an IP address because it's already connected to the internet, and the router normally assigns an IP address to the external NIC. Uh, After we do this, we're gonna install Active Directory and set up the domain. Next, we're gonna configure a NAT and the routing so the clients could be able to access the what is it? So that the client will be able to access the internet through the domain controller. After that, we're gonna also set up the DHCP so that whenever the client logs in, they'll be assigned an IP address. So yeah, that's about it. So let's get started. Let me close this. First, I already have it installed. But before we start, you need to install the Oracle VirtualBox. So first, we're gonna install our first virtual machine. In order to do that, you're gonna click New. We're gonna name it DC for the main controller, and you're gonna want to give it. You're gonna want to scroll down and click. Where's Windows 10? Oh yeah, right here. Windows 10 64-bit, and then you're gonna click Next. And I'm gonna give it 248 megabytes. I could give it more, but for this, that's all we're gonna need. Gonna click create. Gonna click next, next, create. Before we turn on the virtual machine, we're gonna want to go to settings and do a little bit of configuration so that this could perform better. Uh, let's go to advanced. For me personally, I want it to be bi-directional so I could be able to, add things and remove things through the virtual machine. System, want to go to processor, want to give it more so that it could, process things faster. We want to go to network. This is where we're gonna set up our two NICs. This one's gonna be our external NIC, and this one's gonna be our internal NIC. Okay, do I need to set up anything else? No, I don't. So after we've done that, we could now run the virtual machine. so that we could install the operating system to it. And that operating system is gonna be the server, the 2019 server. It does take a little bit of time, so just bear with me. Okay, now we're gonna click the folder logo, click add, and for me, I saved it as this. This is what they saved it as, so that's what it's gonna be. And we're gonna click choose and start. It takes a while, so I'm probably gonna fast forward it so that you guys don't have to sit through the whole thing. I'm gonna pause it actually till it's done. Okay, now it's loading up. Okay, so it's gonna access. Um, when we see this, just gonna click next. I'm click install now. Now it's downloading the operating system. Okay. So after it installs the operating system, it's gonna ask you which operating system you want. I normally just click you can click the standard or the um, either whichever one you want. Honestly, just not these two. Uh, whichever one of these two you could just select. Okay, it's loading now. You're gonna click accept and then next. I'm gonna click customs so that I could be able to put what I want on it. And this is gonna take a while. It's gonna take a very long time. So I'm gonna, fast forward this video for you guys. Okay, so whenever it shows this, don't press anything because if you did, it would take you to the BIOS and then it would just, like mess up everything. So just let it load up, don't press nothing, then the boot. And I think now after it loads up, it should be asking me to set up a password for the admin account. I believe so. Let's see. It's still loading up. Let's see. I'm gonna fast forward this. Okay, so now we're going to set up our admin account. Um, Throughout this whole lab, the password is gonna be password one, because just so I don't forget it. And let's see, let's set it up now. What did I do? What did I do? Okay, finalizing. I should have probably made the core 4 instead of 3. Just the processor. Okay, so now for some reason when I press Control Alt Delete, it doesn't really do anything. But if you go here, keyboard, and it's like when you press this, it does it for you. So we're gonna press that, and we're gonna log in. Um, so yeah, while this is loading up, so before we start um, setting things up in our domain controller, we're gonna adjust some things real quick so that this virtual machine could just run better. And by that I mean, so we're gonna go. I believe you gotta go to devices and go to insert guest edition, and this we just allowed you to, like, when you increase the, if you try to make the screen bigger, or even when you move your mouse around, it will not be as laggy. So after you selected device and then the guest, you go to your folder, and then you're gonna click this PC and click that. And then after you do that, you're gonna select AMD 64, and we're going to install it. So you'll click next, next, install. After it's installed, we're gonna restart our virtual machine again. And when we do that, you see how right now I could let me see, expand it, but the whole thing is not expanding. So once we do that, we're gonna be able to, like, adjust it, and everything will adjust with it. Okay, let's restart this again. I'm gonna fast forward it while it restarts. Okay, so now after the virtual machine restarted, we're gonna go again to input key, and then we're gonna type our password in. Okay, good, 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 good. Okay, so next we need to set up our NICs. We need to assign the internal NIC and IP address. So in order to do that, we're gonna click this. We're gonna go to network and select change adapter options. So first we have to figure out which one is the external, which one is the internal NIC. So we're gonna right click here, look at the status, and I believe you just select details. So from the looks of this one, this is definitely the external. Yeah, this is the internet. So this is the external NIC. So we're gonna rename it so that we can know feature. Uh, let's rename it. Okay, and then we're gonna, clearly this one's gonna be the internal NIC, but we can still check it out, and you can see this is the IP address they gave it when it was looking for the DHCP. So we're actually gonna configure this so that we could give it our own IP address. But first, let's change the name. So we're gonna say the name. This one's gonna be internal. Okay, now let's configure the IP address. To do that, we're gonna click properties, and where is it? Right here. And we're going to select use the following IP address. So I don't know if you remember in the beginning of the video, uh, this is going to be the IP address that we use. So it is, what is it? 16, 0, 1, and the subnet is gonna be 255, 255, 255. Okay, so after we've done that, we're gonna go right here where it says preferred DNS server. So we gotta use the IP address or the loop back. Um, so that means like whenever you type in say 127 0 0 1, it's gonna come back to us. It's gonna say that to us. So once we do that, we're gonna click next, click OK, and now if we check, look at the status, it should have changed. Let's see details. Yes, so now this is gonna be us. All right. So since that is set up now, we want to go ahead and rename this PC. So we're going to go back to. Let me get rid of this real quick. It's distracting. We're going to go back to System Settings. We're going to go to, where is it at? Oh yeah, About. We'll say we name this PC because this is currently the name of the PC right here, Win and all that number. But we're gonna want to name it, of course, DC, domain control. Next, and of course, we start now. So throughout this whole video, there's gonna be a lot of restart. Okay, so after the computer restarts, we are going to log back in. Okay, now that everything is set up, we're going to install Active Directory in our virtual machine, in our domain controller, and then set up the domain. So in order to do that, let me let it load up first. Let it load up first. Let's make this bigger. So because we did the guest, now we're just when we expand the screen. Okay, now in order to install Active Directory, we gotta go to Add Roles and Features. Click Next, Next. We're gonna select this server. Well, it's still the one there, but if like you wanted to install Active Directory, you gotta make sure you get the right operating system. So we'll click Next. And where is it? Oh yeah, it says go. You're gonna select Active Directory, add features, go next, 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 and then install. This might take a while, so I don't remember how long it took when I last did it, but it's probably going to take a while. So I'm going to just fast forward. Okay, so now that Active Directory have installed, we're gonna close this. So right now we have Active Directory. We installed it, but we need to like configure it. So in order to do that, you're gonna click. I believe you're gonna click Tools. No, 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 no. You're gonna click this. Multi server, and we're gonna add a new forest. For this lab, it's gonna be my mydomain.com. We're gonna go next. And we're never gonna use this, but we're gonna still, it's gonna be password one. I'm gonna go next. Go click next. Next. Yeah, this kind of takes a while, so we just gotta be patient. Click next. 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 Come on. So by the end of this, it should restart. After we set it up, it's gonna do another restart. I'm gonna install it. Come on. Hurry up, hurry up. Okay, it should be getting ready to install in a second. So it's installing right now actually. It should be done in a second. Okay. So now it's about to sign us out. And once it's gonna restart after it loads back up, it should say domain admin. So when we see domain admin, that's how you know the Active Directory has been configured the right way. But we're gonna actually create our own dedicated admin accounts instead of using the built-in one that they created for us. Okay, so it's downloading up. Um, we're gonna go to input, and right now it should say my domain slash admin. So this is gonna be the built-in domain, but we wanna create our own uh, dedicated domain. So to do that, we're going to let this load up, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so in order to create our own dedicated domain, we're gonna go to create our own dedicated admin account. We're gonna go here to Windows Administrative Tools and scroll down to Active Directory users and computers. And once that loads up, right in here, this is our current domain right here. We're gonna right click, go to new, and we're gonna create a OU. So basically, it's like a folder for the Active Directory, from my understanding. And it's gonna be named. The folder is gonna be named admin. Keep it simple. Once we created the folder, time to create a new user in it. Since this is going to be an admin account, we're going to say a dash name, my name. Okay, that should be it. The password, of course. No, we don't want that. I'm going to select this, go next, and done. But just because we've created a user account does not mean it has, it is admin. So in order to make it an admin, we have to go to properties and select member of, I believe. Select member of. Now you're gonna click OK, I believe. Yeah, we're gonna select add and then um going blank here. What am I supposed to select next after we do that? Um, what is it again? It should be right here. You're gonna type in domain.
Okay, okay, so now we have our very own domain admin account. So to use this, let's go ahead and log out of the domain controller. So we'll say sign out. Then we'll do we'll delete again. And then instead of logging into this administrator one, we're going to go to other user. And we see it says sign into my domain here. We're going to use our domain admin account. So we can do a-jmatic or so whatever you made yours, a-, whatever your name is. And then password. Hopefully you did password 1. It's easy. Say enter. Hold our name, prime directory. It's going to log us in. So now that we've logged in, looking back at our kind of network map over here, the next thing we're going to do is install /nat. That's our remote access server network address translation. The purpose of
Okay, so now the installation is done. We're gonna close, and then we're gonna go to tools. I'm gonna look for routing and remote access. So right now this is red, so we need to that's how you know it's not working, so we need to turn it green. So we're gonna configure and enable, click next, and we're gonna select network address translation, and that's going to allow us to connect the internal network to the internet, and that's right here. Go click next, finish. Okay, we'll that. This one should not take long. So now, as you can see, this is green, so they're both set up, and it is good to go. So now that we have our wires and that set up, we're gonna install. Well, we're gonna next set up the DHCP so that the Windows 10 client could have access. So the clients could get an IP address, so they'll be able to have access to the internet. So in order to do that, we're going to go back to roles and do it. So we're gonna click this again. Gonna go next, next, next. We're gonna look for the DHCP server. Gonna add features. I'm gonna go next, um, next, next. Then we're gonna install. This might take a second also. So I'm gonna fast forward the video. Now that is set up, we are gonna close this and we're going to let's minimize this. Go to tools, select the CP, and right now you can see that it's not set up. So we're gonna right click this. Hold on, sorry. Right click. We need to create a new scope for it. So we're gonna select new scope. We're gonna go next. A new scope name. Oh yeah, so we're gonna for this one I'm gonna name it. Let me see, where is this? So we're gonna name it. I believe we named it this right here. So it's gonna be the IP address and then the range. So it's gonna be 172. Sorry, 172 dot 16 dot 0 dot 100 to 200. And then here is gonna be 172 16 0 100. Then this one's gonna be 172 dot 16 dot 0 dot 200. And then the length is gonna be 24. Gonna click next. For this one, add exclusion. No, I did no exclusion for this lab. Next, least duration. Basically, this means how long you could have the IP address for. So say if you go to like Starbucks and you log into the internet, they might give you you might be able to have that. You might be able to use the IP address for 2 hours before it expires. So for this one, we're just gonna keep it 8 hours. So it really doesn't matter. Uh, no. Click next. Order default gateway. Oh yeah. So for this one, we're gonna select the default gateway, which is gonna be, where is it at? Let me open this one. Okay, so we are going to type the IP address here, which is 172. Type in and make sure it's 16.0.1, and then we're gonna add it. We're gonna go next. It's right here. Go next. Winter. And those are like, I think that's old. So yeah. Next. We're gonna say yes. Finish. And once you've done that, you need to authorize it. So you're gonna go right here in my domain. You're gonna select authorize, and then after you authorize, you're gonna refresh, and boom, your DHCP is set up. So next, after we've done all of this, let me minimize this right here. Next, we're gonna run a script. Well, before we do that, first we need to download the PowerShell. So let's minimize this. What we're gonna do, we're gonna, where's our virtual machine? So, yeah, we're gonna go to the internet. Well, before we do that, we need to turn this off. Where's it at? I.e., we need to turn that off. This, both of them off. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is I am going to, let's expand this baby right here. I'm gonna download the script that he created. This is gonna help us to import all the users into the PowerShell. Where's it? Where's it? What am I blanking right now? Oh yeah, copy link as. And then we're gonna minimize this. Get on the internet. Okay. I'm gonna paste it. Run it, and it should give us the option to download it. And we're gonna select save as. Instead of saving it to your PC, you wanna save it to your desktop. Copy, save, and we should be done with that. So we're gonna X this out, minimize this, and boom, it's right here. So now what we're gonna do is click it, extract it, then next we're gonna go to PowerShell. So now we're gonna basically go into PowerShell and try to run the script so that it could import all the users into the client's virtual machine. So for that, we're gonna select PowerShell ISE. Oh, before we do this, I need to add my name into the list of users. So in order to do that, click this, go to names, and let's put my name at the top. Okay, I'm gonna save it. Let's see if it's there. See, it ain't saved. Let's try it again. I'm gonna click select save. And now we're gonna close this. Name is there. Uh, Now where's my script at? Right here. Let's select file, desktop. Boom. Okay. So in order to uh, import or even like I guess download or import all the users, we're gonna have to set execute policy. All right, so we're gonna set execution policy unrestricted. It's gonna ask you this, and you're gonna say yes to all. So, okay. Oh, okay, that's what I did. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not sure why it's not letting me um, run set execution policy. Let's just start over. Okay. I believe it was this. Okay. I gotta click more. I didn't run it as admin. I ran it as just you know, J content. So okay, now I okay, cool. So now let's upload. Okay, I'm gonna set execution policy. We're gonna unrestricted. Should work now. Say yes to all. Whew, good. Okay, so now we're gonna change directory. So we need to change it so that it can read where the PowerShell script is. So we're gonna change directory to users, and then we're gonna look for my name because that's where we saved it. And then we're gonna go, it's in the desktop. Gonna select desktop. And then we're gonna pick the folder name. And I'm gonna press enter. So now we've changed the directory to where the script is. And now all we gotta do is select play. And we want to say run once. And now it should start uh, downloading all the new users for our clients, uh, for our clients desktop. So this might take a while, but the way to see if this is working, I believe you could go. Where is it at? Did I minimize it? I don't know. Nah, okay. You could go to admin, computers and users, and we could click that. We're gonna go to users, yeah, users, and this is all. You can see that it's all being downloaded as we speak. All the users. Yep. So now we can use any of these users, and all of their password is gonna be password of one. And we could, when we create our client's virtual machine with Windows 10, we can use any of these users to log in using password one, uh, to access the domain controller. So let me see if it's done. It should be done by now. So right here, you see how it says for each users, the account, every new user, the account password is gonna be password. This is how you create the username. So let's see how much more. So yeah, it's done. So now we don't need, so we could close it. So now what we need to do, let's go back to the, let's go back to the list. So we created our um, virtual machine, installed the two NICs, assigned an IP address to the internal NIC. We downloaded Active Directory and configured the domain. We also configured RISE, the remote access software for the Windows 10 client, and we also set up the DHCP so that whenever the client accesses the private network, they'll be able to, get their, they'll be assigned an IP address. So we did this already, and we did that, and we also downloaded the users. So now we need to create our second virtual machine and give it the Windows 10 operating system. Let's do that real quick. Real quick. Uh, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? So let's make this one smaller. So we're gonna go to new. We're gonna name this virtual machine client one. We're gonna give it Windows 10. 64-bit. Click next. Same thing. Next. 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 We're gonna create it. And before we, just like the domain controller, before we open it up, we gotta fix a few things. System. We gotta make sure we give it the right amount of processor. Nah, let's keep it at 3. This it's not that fast. And for this one, we're all gonna need um, the one. So the one network. I mean the one NIC because let me go back to the. So we're gonna select the internal next, and now this is where we are going to get into the virtual machine and select the Windows 10 operating system. But since I did not download the Windows 10 operating system because it will mess with the Windows 11 that I currently have. But to do that, you would have had to go there, and then it would have saved here. But and once you do it, you select the operating system, then you install it, and then it will run. And once you do that, you should be able to, run the virtual machine for the client, and you'll be able to log in using those users and access the internet. So that would have been the whole lab, but I don't want download the Windows because this lab is 2 years old, I believe. So they were using Windows 10 at the time, but now I have Windows 11. I just don't want to mess with that. But yeah.